Hi there, I'm Allie Elliott.
Hi guys, I'm Allie Elliott, back today we've got a few things going on. A lot of balls in the air today. First of all, we are going to continue working on this image. I've got some more elements to add in there. And we've got a long road ahead of us with that one. But also going on today is Images of Distinction, the image competition for the American Society of Photographers, ASP, as I will most often mention it. The judging has started. So I'll probably be in and out today. When I get a notification that one of my images is coming up, then I'll bail on stream for a little bit, bite my nails, and watch it go through judging. And I will take notes and of what the judges say and if they deliberate at all. And then we'll come back in like we're going to do right now for the first image that went through and fix what needs to be fixed, change what needs to be changed, and ignore the stuff that I feel like should be ignored. So this is the first one that went through. It was the very first image of its category, which is not where I generally want to be. I want to be kind of in the mid-morning when they're not hungry yet, not tired yet, and preferably not right after something that just scored 100. Unfortunately, this did not do as well as I had hoped it would do. So on a scale of 1 to 100, and like the lowest score I've ever seen is like maybe a 65, and that's pretty rare. Usually like 70 is like, oh, you start rethinking a career choice at that number. But the most important number is 80. So 80 and above in the PPA world is a merit. And then beyond that is imaging excellence / loan, whatever. But 80 is where you want. Right now, these, if you've been following my stream at all, you know that these competitions right now are the preliminary ones. These ones I was not prepared for in any stretch of the imagination. So, but that's not, I'm not making an excuse. I should have had a better entry prepared, and I certainly wasn't ready. But I did get some valuable information. So, Sugar Plum Kitty came up first in Photographic Open. And the scores were, which keep in mind the 80 is the important one. 80 and above is what you want. The higher, the better. And this is very similar to an image that did really, really well last year. Similar in composition and kind of a little bit in subject matter. And we added the element of the cat, which, is kind of an unpredictable thing. For one thing, they didn't mention this. But this needs a better title. My title stinks. And I need something a little more witty and a little more creative. So throw at me what you got. Just any ideas. I like to look at movie lines and lines from songs and quotes from scripture. There are a lot of sources to just kind of have a play on words. And I've got nothing for this so far. So it went through as Sugar Plum Kitty. Whatever. It is what it is. But I did get some valuable information. So it came out at initially at an 82. I'm going to take another note here because I forgot. I'm trying to take notes on my stuff as it goes through judging because they'll discuss it tomorrow. But I have a short attention span and I want to fix it right now. So the 5 judges, I only wrote 4 of them down for some reason, but 2 84s, an 81, and a 79. And something must have been lower than that even because my average was 72. No, my average, that would have been devastating. My average was 82. And then it was challenged, which means that somebody didn't agree with the category that it was in. So the categories basically are 95 to 100, 90 to 95, 85 to 90, 80 to 85, and then 79 below is kind of, doesn't count. So someone challenged it down, And what they really hated about it most, ironically, was the presentation. Because they saw repeating lines. Well, the reason they saw repeating lines is because I literally took the image, made it bigger, lowered the opacity, and that was part of my presentation. That backfired big time. They hated that. They saw it as clone tracks, which I get why they thought that, but I super duper hate presentation. And I've talked about this probably every single stream that I've ever done, because it just, with a physical print, it adds something, it completes the piece. And I get that it could do that with digital, but if you're bad at it like I am, then it doesn't. And here we are. But you'll be excited to find out that is literally the presentation that I used for basically every image that I entered in this competition. So it's gonna be a long day. So that's one thing that I'm definitely going to change. And that's an easy change, but it's kind of frustrating because I should have just figured that out beforehand, and then we could have not focused so much on something that's not an actual part of the image. But whatever. So the presentation, that's super easy. We'll change that. And then they were mentioning the repeating marks at the bottom, and then they went on discussing the presentation. So I'm thinking maybe they thought, and I can see that, like why they thought that, but I also felt like it would be obvious that that was part of the presentation. So I don't know if there are additional repeating marks within the frame of, if I just take that off, it's kind of problem solved. It's so frustrating. But let's see if maybe a lighter, let's see how we feel about that. I prefer darker myself. I really think this is probably solid as far as presentation goes. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And mark it off. Okay, so that was the easy part. Now the rest, and I'm going to keep switching back and forth a little bit today just to make sure that you can kind of see the images that are coming up. So if I just scan through there and see if I see any titles, and then I have to remember too what I titled them, but I'm hoping that it'll seem familiar and catch my attention, because it's actually, there are 4 different panels going. Okay, I don't see anything that is familiar. So, okay, so the cat, this was mentioned by 2 different judges, that the cat feels cut out, which, it is. So we got to alleviate that. And I can see so her arm had natural shadowing right there, but it didn't really have a cat. So we probably need to clean up the little bit of haloing and maybe accentuate some of this fur and stuff going on. Maybe make her whiskers a little stronger. And she does have some definite haloing going around, even where maintained her fur and stuff. So we'll work on that today. And another thing that was mentioned was how dark her tail was, because the image itself is pretty light, which I'm not sure I entirely agree with, but brightening her tail and maybe creating more depth on the cat's fur, some highlights and some deeper shadows will kind of blend in a little bit better with her sweet little face, which they didn't actually, I don't think they actually mentioned anything that they liked about it. So I fully expected to have stuff that I needed to change. That's why I entered these early competitions. I don't expect any, perfect scores or anything like that, but I want to be able to correct these little things like the presentation that are super easy switches before they go into the competition that I'm really wanting to do well in. That being said, I would have expected this one to do a little better. This is maybe one of my stronger images that have been entered. So I'm a little nervous about how the rest of this day is going to go. So it could be a long one. The presentation alone makes it really frustrating. Luckily, I've not entered. That's a lie. I've not entered other PPA affiliated competitions with these images yet. I was holding on just in case there were some little tweaks that I could make. Now, I did enter Portrait Masters, which is a completely separate competition, a separate set of judges, separate set of rules. You know, it's totally separate. So they didn't say. I had some. I'm real self-conscious about certain parts of this image, and nobody mentioned that. So I don't know if it's kind of one of those things when, like in your house, you're fixing up your house and you fix one thing that's been really bothering you. But then once that's fixed, then there are some other things that didn't bother you before that might start bothering you. It's the same thing with an image. So once they got fixated on not liking the presentation, noticing some shadows, some stuff like that, then they kind of quit looking. So this is an opportunity to improve, but I definitely, so I can take care of the bigger, more obvious things, but I have to decide before going forward with this image if it has the potential to be the best image that I've ever put into competition, because I feel like I'm at a point in my career where I've done really, really well and I had a lot of success. And this is just strictly image competition and how I can get better as an artist for my clients, and my exhibition work and stuff too. So I'm not gonna be okay with like an average score image anymore. I need to produce work that's above those scores. So I've got to look at this 82. It was challenged down. I don't even know if I finished this. It was originally 82 and it was challenged down to a 79. So just out of the merit category because of some of the things that I mentioned. That being said, even as I make these adjustments, I have to decide before going forward with it as part of my permanent case if it has the potential to be, you know, the 90s would be my goal. I don't think I've ever actually gotten, it's hard because last year I had my 2 GIA nominations, but they don't do numbers at IPC anymore. So while they scored really well, I don't know what that means numerically because right now ASP is still doing numbers, which I prefer the numbers, but nobody asked me. So it's just kind of an easier metric to score yourself against as the years progress. All right, so we need to work on the cat and the cat's tail. So one judge was a little bit vague and said that there were just excess shadows that shouldn't be there. And I'm not sure I'm seeing, they were not at all specific. So I don't know if that means in the fabric or her. I don't know. I've got kind of a weird light source thing going on that nobody mentioned. Because I love the sweeping light, the diagonal sweeping light that you can see right here. But our brains know that the light is coming, you know, from this side front, like a 45-degree angle. So that's where this shadow is coming from. But the overall image is a little bit dark. So I'm mentally creating that kind of spotlight. And if that's the case, then that would change some of the highlights and shadows on the fabric. It's tulle fabric though, so it's not going to have real heavy lights and shadows. But this is the point where I overthink literally everything humanly possible, because once I get these things changed, I know there's other stuff they're going to see, or that score wouldn't have been so low. So, all right, let's work on the cat. Okay. I'm going to duplicate and work on Kitty. So there's a texture in her leotard here that is not, and actually there's some color. They didn't mention this, but now that I'm seeing it, I might want to go ahead and correct it. Because there is some kind of color bleeding going on. I think it might be the backdrop, because it's got warms and cools. It's kind of an odd combination. Definite clone tracks there. And normally I like to stay and watch Judging all day and really glean some stuff from it, but this was kind of bugging me because I feel like it's something that I could fix so quickly. Okay. And then this little armpit of hers is, well, that's not helpful. I'm a mess. Is pretty bright. So I'm going to bring that down a notch. And I'm going to also obsessively check. So go ahead and buckle up for that. Because I don't want to miss. I feel like the live judging is much more beneficial to the information that I need than any critiques they give afterwards or anything like that. Their panel discussion tomorrow. I think it's awesome that they do that, don't get me wrong. And if I am able, I will watch, but I've got sessions tomorrow that, you know, take precedence. I do believe that's going to be recorded though. So that's good. See, they didn't even mention this. But here we are. Okay. I just don't want that light to compete with her face. So we'll merge those layers. Okay. We'll save, and then I'm going to check one more time. It seems like they're moving very, very slowly. That one room is moving faster than the others, but I don't see anything. Okay, so I'm back. All right. Okay. I'm sorry, that's probably gross noise in the, the microphone. All right, so the cat feels cut out. How to make a white cat. She's fuzzy though. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go in, and this will be kind of boring. I'm sorry. Here's what I don't want to do though, is I do not want to, oh, you know what, maybe maybe a way to work on this would be, and let's go to 12% because I'm gonna smash my hand here. Oh, that's way too big though. Nope. It's huge or it's tiny. All right. So I've got my dodge tool right now, and I'm just gonna go in and kind of get some of these highlights, because she's got like stripes in her tail, and truth be told, I don't really see them that much in person. Oh, see, getting crazy. But you know, maybe they can help us offer some dimension and weight her into the scene a little bit better. And I do think it looks like there's enough information in here that I could very easily lighten this whole shebang. And I'm going to wait to play with the texture. Oh gosh. She doesn't need that. Like, she's got a big booty. So there's a little bit of striping in the back. And just offer some dimension. I was afraid in working on this that I would lose detail by brightening the white fur, that it would just kind of all blow out a little bit. So that's definitely something still that I need to be wary of. But I want to follow the light pattern. And then I could potentially do all of this and and then when I back up and compare, still prefer the other. Okay, so let's see. So we back up and check it out. Okay, there's some more dimension in there. And I might actually just take like a much bigger, and then you can't go a whole lot lighter than that, but I was initially going to try to just cut, paste, and lighten it that way, but this might be faster. I'm not real sure what else. Oh gosh. So right here, there's like some tan mixed in with the gray. So that could either be the backdrop, because that's what the backdrop is, or it could be color bleed from her arm. So I think I'll leave it alone right now because they didn't mention that. But that's kind of a lot. I just want to smooth out the noise because I feel like once I have corrected what they were kind of zeroed in on before, there's going to be a lot of other stuff that they notice. So I got to try to get one step ahead. looks like maybe there's some haloing in there too. I'm just checking. I should get an email and a text when I'm within 5 images of coming up, but depending on what room it goes into, sometimes they go really fast. So it would take me a minute because they have 4 panels going, and then you have to grab the visual and the audio separate. So it's not as easy as like watching IPC where it's all one screen and you just click back and forth between the rooms. I wish it was, because that's a lot easier. And you don't feel so but the downside is they send you an email and it could be an hour before, whereas this one it's been pretty quick so far, and I only have the one. Okay, so her side is pretty dark. This arm is significantly darker than this arm, so I feel like just lightening the cat's tail that little amount is enough of a change. I'm going to take this down. Ooh, this is gonna be tricky because, well, that's why I was pushing the wrong button. So I'm gonna go along the fur. This will definitely not help the cutout feel. But I want to get rid of that kind of light spot, because that was the cat was not in her arm, so there was nothing blocking that shadow. And I might also, while I'm looking at this, go in here and give this highlight a teeny bit more definition. And then what's funny is the cat's fur did not pick up the light at all. So tipping my hat to animal photographers, because I don't know what I'm doing. It's a whole different beast. Whole different animal. No, that's just a clone situation. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna grab and that's probably, some of this is probably why there's a cutout feel, because I was doing this with the fur before. So like it probably drags some of the other colors and stuff. I wonder if I might just have to go real strong here. That is probably a big portion of the problem. I think this looks decent because it's blending. She's got some shadows. Cat while adding a major element to this is also adding an element of a pain. We'll just go like with a super stylized. Let's see, how small do we want to go here? Okay, and then we have a definitive clone mark right there. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna use the mouse for this. All right, man, I was really hoping this would do better. So I need to evaluate at the end of all this what stays and what gets replaced. And I'm going to duplicate this because I like what I've done so far, but I know I'm getting into a volatile change here. Okay, so we'll go back to this. Just kind of help this not feel so do one tiny pixel. All right. So I'm not going to back all the way out. I'm going to back up just a little and we'll see. This is before and this is the after. So I'm going to look at a different screen here. I think we're getting there. Okay. So I don't know what else I can do to lessen that feeling on the kitty of like being cut and pasted. Normally it would be shadows and creating, oh, here, the hand. That's definitely something I can do. I'm gonna go smaller though. I'm gonna add some light to this hand because with that arm being so dark, I don't want to darken it anymore. And to maybe weight the shadows a little bit so that Kitty has more of a feeling of being a part of the image. And then I'm gonna get burn tool and there we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. I'm gonna squint and glare at the camera. I'm sorry. Sorry you have to see that. And just give some weight under the cat's legs and under here. I went in here and did these like really details and they're probably too small. Because the cat's fur is not really picking up. Oh, jeez. I'm trying to keep the, and she's in kind of a weird, you know, or maybe you don't know. She's in kind of a weird position with just like a leg sticking out of the middle of her belly, but that's how, I mean, it's cats, man. Okay, I think it's better. It's getting better. I don't want to go off the deep end either, though. And then I knew this would happen every time something like this happens. They give suggestions, I make corrections, and then I go, why did I enter that? And I really ran into that with conversations with our ancestors, and I needed other people's input. I looked at it too long. I'm not there with this yet. I'm not to where I've looked at it for so long that okay, so the cat looks better. So really on this one, I need to work on a better title. So it went in there as Sugar Plum Kitty, and I'm gonna check one more time to see what else we got going on. And it's just, it's not doing it for me. I need something wittier or better. And I have to remember my titles. So just as a refresher here, these are the images that went into this competition. 21 came before me. Act Natural, Break and Stitch, Build a Ladder to the Moon, Don't Wake Me, Focused in Faith, Lean on Me, Little Willow. Hopefully they get that reference from a song. It depends which room it goes in. So you'll remember, and I already see stuff in here that I should have fixed, but it was too, I was late getting that in there. So you know what, first round, maybe they'll fixate on something else that I did wrong. Sugar Plum Kitty, that's already through. And then this one, which I titled Then Sings My Soul. So I'm pretty happy with all of the titles except for Sugar Plum Kitty and Little Willow. Since my case that I'm working to build is four in Photographic Open, 4 in Master Artist. So this will be 1 in Master Artist. This will be 2 in Master Artist. And then this might be 3 and this might be 4. This one went through last year and it teetered. In every competition, some would do really well, some would do really poorly. So it was very split. So I thought it was titled differently last year. And I did some things to try and change it. And then I went back to the original image with a new title. So this is experimental right now because I didn't have my other Master Artist images done. That being said, I have 2 in the works. So this might end up, we'll see how it does with its new title. And otherwise, it's just kind of a placeholder. This is just experimental to see how much a title change can affect scoring, because I changed literally nothing since the last 2 competitions. And then this one feels incomplete. So I'm just curious to see how it'll do. Probably, I don't know what else to do to it. So if you have suggestions, let me know in the chat, in the comments in YouTube, message me, email me, whatever. If you have an idea for, we could take this story to a different place. This was from Bob Dylan's song. The line was build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. So she has rungs in her basket and is supposed to be building the ladder. I'm not sure that story is being told yet. I'm not confident in that by any stretch. Nor is my astrophotography any good. So that might be something where we go in and play with, create some brushes or something and do more with this. So I just kind of want to see where this will land, and if it's around the 79 mark. But I know it needs something. I know it's not ready. So hopefully it's not like a 70. But I just need to brainstorm a little bit. So help me out with that. And then I've got 2 more Master Artist images in the ranks. I'm having trouble getting models. Oh wait, this is one of them. That's right. I knew I couldn't think of what the second one was. This is one of them. Like, it's just the layout right now. So that will fix. That's going to be home for the holidays, and that I need to work on significantly today. And then I've got another one where I am trying to work with a military family, and I've had a few different groups that we just can't work out scheduling. So once that gets worked out, since these deadlines are gone now, once that works out, we can build it and go from there. And hopefully we get it worked out by the April deadline. And I think what I want to do, even if we blow that deadline completely, I want to keep working on it so that I'm not in this position every year where I'm starting from 0 and trying to build an entire case, all the while, running my business and schooling my kids and, everyday life stuff. So we right now need a better title for Sugar Plum Kitty. I tried to do some to the cat. I don't know. Let me know if you think that was successful. Not so much. I do want to do a brighter highlight on this leg because we've got really bright, darker with some highlight, really bright, darker with some highlight, and these are kind of the same. So I want to brighten up this, at least this top. And kind of make that all make sense. Now it is fading into, I'll take that last one off because it's fading into the deeper shadows that are at the bottom third of the image. Oh, why didn't I just change the presentation? And now we're going to see a few more go through with the exact same presentation. And it's going to be a massacre. It's not going to be good. But, we're playing the long game with these. I keep flipping back and forth. We need to anchor the kitty. You know what? Since this leg is a little bit, that might be a little bit much. That leg's brighter, so let's keep that highlight. Okay. We're getting somewhere. I can feel it. The times are changing. Okay. I'm happy with that right now. I'm going to go in and check one more time and see if anything. They are not moving very fast today, which I think is kind of good. That means there's a lot of discussion and stuff. Trying to see any titles that sound familiar. Okay. All right. We are good. And if I forget that the stream is on, or I've got a lot of moving parts today, so if I'm screwing up, please let me know. And I think maybe I'll start working on Home for the Holidays. That does look a lot better. See, why didn't I just do that before? That's so frustrating. But I really like that dynamic range of light and shadow. I like her whiskers a little perkier. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape. So let's save this. We'll save the whole thing. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I just saved it over. Redo. This is why paintings were so frustrating, because you do something stupid and that's too bad. You start over, there's no Control Z, there's no help. It's just done. Now we can flatten and save it as JPEG. And then I'm also going to save it in the spring competition folder. Let's see. And I had two different ones saved. So I'm just going to delete the one. All right, competition, and then spring. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty solid difference. Is that the one that yeah, that's the one that I changed. You can really see it in the tail. It's looking a little more weighted, which is good. That's what we want. Okay. Oh, my back is cracking. Okay. So aside from the title, I worked on all those things, but I'm going to keep my notes. And if this continues working out to where I've got a lot of time in between each image coming up, that's going to be perfect, because then I can tweak. Now, obviously, not all of these are going to go any further than these first competitions, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 master artists, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at least 3 will get cut, and I kind of have an idea of which ones they will be. And if a lot of them do poorly, I might scrap more than the minimum and pull from something else. A lot of directions that we could go here, and for sure at least one of those master artists will get pulled, and maybe 2, depending on how things shake out for getting people into the studio. So I'm going to close this, because sometimes I just need to stop looking at it for a little while to go back and see if the changes that I made are sufficient to re-entering it or anything like that. Now, we built a chair out of this chair in, what was that name of the one we've been working on? So you'll remember. So what I'm gonna do is, then that's the nice thing when you've built up a big library like this. So it's before 15. Let's go with maybe 12. It's before 12. Maybe 9. Yeah, okay. So and then I'll transform and flip horizontal, so that now this is already okay, so we'll have to adjust that a little bit, and it's already treated, so we'll leave the back like that, because I want to maintain this curve of light around the top. And then we'll get rid of this so that it's not confusing, but I really want to, here's what's bothering me about this image so much, and it was such a stupid easy change, and I was just kind of done with working on it. This lamp spill not matching up. The bottom is fine, because they don't match up, but this side does and this side doesn't. So the lampshade is crooked, but then visually that doesn't make sense because it's not crooked down here. So those are the things that I think about when I lay awake at night. All right, and I'm going to do a quick check here, going through all these titles, and I hope that it's adjusting in real time. And I hope that I'm going to get, you know, it's interesting to watch these go through, because sometimes there's just an image that really sticks in your mind of someone else's, that the composition or the subject matter, for whatever reason, it just really sticks in your mind. And then there are images that did so well, that won a Grand Imaging Award, or that were a completely unique subject, that they're everywhere. And then the next year or a couple of years later, you see a real similar, not that it's the same maker or the same photographer or anything, but that's like that picture just ingrains itself in the culture of photography. And not that I think anybody is like intending to just copy, but it just keeps showing up in different ways, but real similar ways. And then does really well. So I don't know if you have to be better to be the first or to do well as the second. But interesting observations from image competition. All right, let's go through here real quick. And then there are some titles, and I've done this before too, where they're just, you see the same title over and over and over because you can't think of anything better. Is that mine? I can't remember my titles. I gotta go back and look at them. No, that's funny because that's a title that I considered for one of them, but I didn't use it unless I accidentally did when I was entering it, which is not out of the realm of possibility. Okay, nothing there. All right, so I need to work on this. And I want to watch, I want to go watch judging, but I also know I need to work on this. Let's see here. Okay. I'm still here. Oh gosh. Okay. So we were just kind of cutting out this super basics last time. So that's where we're at now. It's a real piece of art. It's modern art right now. So I got in, let's see, there was an image that I wanted to grab. There it is. And then I'm going to pull that in. Okay, and then a clock. And then I think I might, and that's good to know that no, okay, that's in the wrong folder. I was like, I saved that in the wrong folder. Okay. Home for the holidays. I have not been sleeping well the last couple of nights, and my brain is like mush. Okay, so we're gonna keep piecing this work of art together because I want to use, and in Master Artist I will often use oh, you know what, I was going to do an oval. Okay, I was gonna do an oval picture frame, so we might end up, oops, I think I'll just take that one out. Rename this to the clock. I keep saying I'm tired. Okay, so what's the vote here? I'm thinking that this one needs to head over this way. No, because of the light. So if we turn it over there, then we need to change the light, which it's a pretty symmetrical image, so I think that works just fine. And then we'll do the round picture frame there. Let's see. So I still need oh, she's slowing down. Okay, so we need the I hope this is just like, I could have just put it closer to the front, but I didn't. Okay, so 1 and 10%, that is the problem. Okay. So we're gonna do just one little present here, and I'll just have to go wrap a present or something. And then I'm gonna scoot that over because I want to shoot this in a way that compositionally is gonna work best. I think we might tuck that up under the tree actually. Okay, and I want him at attention point, this little bit off center, the clock, and the oval picture frame. All right. Okay, so I've got the picture frame back behind me. Right here. Oh, it's out of frame. Just trust me. There it is. No, wait, no, it's not. It's right behind me. My bun's in the way. There it is. So oval, clock. I think we'll probably in the pictures do maybe a wedding picture, and it will be, there will be no characteristics that are actual photographic elements. We'll just paint it up. And then I think, so I planned on doing just black. I think maybe I want, do you remember the wallpaper that was like, it looked like a drawing, and you know, there were different scenes, and there was, I'm not thinking of toile wallpaper, which is similar, but it was like a modern toile, and it was in maybe the 50s and 60s it was popular, and it wasn't toile where it was the fabric, the really nice wallpaper that people want to restore now from maybe, you know, 1800s. This was the plasticky kind of wallpaper when it became much more widely available. It was on the walls of my grandparents, and I think that would be a nice little element to add. So what I'm gonna do is, about 15 years ago, I digitized 4,400 slides from my mom's family, my mom's side of the family. And I have copies of those, obviously. So I'm gonna see if I can't find in here some wallpaper. Okay, so that is a different wallpaper. So we know that it was after the 50s. That was Christmas morning. It was after the 50s, or at least after that. So we go into the 60s slides here. Here, I'll bring it over here where you can see. And we could always create a little sketch and create that wallpaper on our own. That's an option too. And that would be a really cool element, I feel like, for a master artist image. The problem with it might be getting across to the judging staff that that's what you did. And if you can successfully do that, I hope that, you know, that would be appreciated. But there's only so much information that you can present to them. Okay, let's keep looking for, I think Christmas might be good because that would be living room. See what wallpaper we had in here. No, that was, okay, so this is not the way I remember it, but that might be a pattern. Do they have a Ouija board? What's going on Christmas? That might be a pattern we could grab and clean up and use it in there as an extra little element. So we'll keep the Ouija board picture out, which is weird. But, oh wait, there's one with the tree. That might be better. There we go. That's, it might just be the pattern that we need. I like that better. So, Ouija board's gone. And it's a nice straight on image as well. And that piano is the piano that is right there. That is a nice crisp clear one. That does not at all look like I remember it looking in my grandparents' house. So I don't know, they changed it. But regardless. Okay, so let's grab this one and this one and put that in Home for the Holidays. And that's just the kind of little Easter egg that I want to tuck away in there that's special to me. The judges are never going to know that that was the wallpaper out of my grandparents' house, and that's part of this. I do a lot of bereavement art, a lot of grief art, as my own art therapy, but also because I feel like I understand it. I understand grieving. And, you know, it's a way to connect other people that have been in similar scenarios. So there's my mom. Here's some more wallpaper stuff. Never mind the people in there. Let's look at the wallpaper. All right. There's some more. But I think probably what we'll do is choose one of these, most likely this one, because we can get a nice big chunk, clean it up, and then we can repeat the pattern and create the wallpaper, because I still want it really, really dark. And that might be our only issue with this, is there are some really bright spots. So we might have to invert those colors a little bit and fade them out so that they're only showing up near the light of the Christmas tree. And that's going to be where he's at too. And the tree being off center is kind of bugging me, but wonder if I widen this. Does that make sense? Not really. Not really, it doesn't. But you know, I think it's important to keep that in mind for options. I do like the tree right in the middle though. So let's go ahead with that. And let me check my messages because I definitely don't want to. I still don't have any text or anything. Okay. And actually, let's see, they might be, okay, it looks like they're all on break, so this is maybe a good time to to really like buckle down and not be distracted. Starting now. All right, so I've got my notes here, so when my next images come up, I can take more notes and, you know, grit my teeth. Okay, it's very cold today. My hands are cold. And I'm colorblind, which I talk about a lot, sorry. But I got these for St. Patrick's Day. And I got home and I'm told they are not, in fact, green. I think they're green. But whatever. Even if they're gray. March is kind of gray, you know, at least in Indiana. Maybe it's not everywhere. Okay, here we go. So I don't have to be super duper precise with this. This is a cell phone picture for the clock out of my parents' house. So I want as many elements as I can to have a personal connection, a reason for being in there. And since this is dark, a very dark image, visually, then it'll be forgiving as far as edges go. Okay. I wish that I could live stream the judging and follow along with other people and have some feedback on, but you know, with copyright, I don't know that that'll ever be a possibility, but I think it would be cool. Like a rebuttal. Maybe the judges wouldn't want that. But I think it would be cool. Oh, look. I'll have to make sure I handle that. All right, so I can just I'm probably going to cut that little middle reverse pendulum. I don't know what that's called, that element. Probably have to cut that out. And then this deep shadow. Okay. It doesn't feel like Friday today either. I'm a little mixed up on my days. And I've got some fun sessions this weekend. And it looks like the weather won't be too bad for the session tomorrow. At least compared to what it's been, because it's been pretty nasty in the 20s. Well, I didn't think this through. These little chains are going to be awful. And like truly like a little bit unnecessary. I'm sure they're necessary for the clock. They're not necessary for the picture. But you never know when you get into like somebody's like a clock expert and they're like, oh, it's missing its chains, but then they'd know the real name for it. Whoops. Okay, save that. I want to keep going back to look at that. To look at the redo. So maybe I will. I'm going to open this up just to keep, because I've got my ASP folder open, but I'm saving them a little differently this year because I want to see, like, I'm saving this, and here these are the actual images that I turned in to the ASP spring competition, so I can see the version that because I know last year when I did these early competitions, they changed immensely. The images changed immensely from the first competition to the final, and I don't necessarily know exactly, like, precisely which image went into which competition. So this will kind of help me. And then I'm putting my sad 79 with Sugar Plum Kitty. I'm trying to see if okay, maybe that presentation is different, so they can focus on what they don't like about the actual image. That'd be okay. Okay, and it looks like they're all on break. So one cool thing is it's showing the progress, and you can see, I guess I can't show you this because you have to be a member of printcompetition.com. Oh my gosh, I'm all tangled up. Hold that thought. Oh, okay, it wasn't as bad as it looked. But it shows like a little progression bar and how far they are through the images and whether or not it was a merit or a non-merit. So you can see if there are patterns. You know, nobody wants to be the first one after a 100, and they used to take a break. I imagine they probably still do. If you get a 100, then they take a break before they come back and look with fresh eyes. But you can see one panel is on number 64 of 237. One is 79 of 262. One is 82 of 238. And one is 78 of 251. So they are not quite halfway through. But we're only, I don't know how late judging is supposed to go today, but we're 3 hours in. They're on their break. Get them nice and full and happy before my images come up, because sometimes that makes all the difference. Get those judges a Snickers. Okay, so let's move the clock. And then I do need to pause at some point and okay, this perspective looks a little tiny bit off. So let's see what we can do about that. It looks like it was top heavy. So we'll go into lens correction and then tip it back. That's a better, that's a little better. And then we can, oops. Come back up to these, and I mean, that's just reminding me of where I'm gonna go. I'm trying to think of a Christmas present to use, I'll probably have to wrap something, but I also don't know that I have a good wrapping paper. So, and I can't wrap it like my dad would actually wrap it because he's so bad at wrapping presents. So I have to wrap it like, and I'm not very impressive. I'll say that. I get big ideas and think I'm gonna do like the Instagram videos of like really pretty wrapped presents. That's not how it shakes out. Nope. Okay, I don't even know what that is, what that layer is. That's the floor. And this is the camera right frame. No, it's not. It's camera left frame. Okay. Now it looks crooked. All right, so how about our tree? How do we feel about the tree? I know we've got the brighter tree that we can pull from. All right. I don't love this composition. I actually, oh, this feels crooked. There are all kinds of, okay. So, what if, we just flipped him in his chair? And I'm going to fix his chair, obviously. So I was originally thinking I wanted him an attention point. I liked that he was an attention point. However, looking at it like this kind of makes more sense to me, to have him not be. I'm actually going to flip this because I like that other side of that tree better. And this is, I might just be messing with stuff just to mess with stuff. I'm not sure, but there was a big clump of lights right by his face too, and I don't want that. Okay, I like that better. Now where is this armchair? Oh, and look, we've got a situation with his. All right, so he matches over on the other side. So that's better. That would have been bad. Okay, so then I don't have to worry so much about the dangly things either, which is nice. A nice little bonus. And then I can move the just so you get an idea here, and just so I get an idea. There we go. And then the picture frame can go here, and then the round one will move, or the oval one will move down a little bit. So let's flip this. Because I like him at the edge of the chair. And I like maintaining that circle. But it doesn't make sense for that, you know, him to be on the edge. So we might actually duplicate this and then leave this one there, and oops. Nope. It's the actual layer 10, that's the one we want. And then bring this one here. And then come back here and delete. Nope, wrong one. Select the inverse and then delete. And then just select all the rest of this and delete. Oops. Okay, so this is kind of like okay, so let's get a really small brush, and we're just gonna follow . Okay, let's try this. It's such a, like, I don't know why I'm obsessing with this. here we are. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna save, and then I'm gonna check in here and see if we are still, okay, so they're soon, they're starting back soon. So I'm gonna run through these titles real quick and see if I have anything coming up. I don't know how they're gonna make it through the rest of these. It's gonna be, it could be for a long night. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay, so I just noticed that in the progress tab, it shows you where your image is going to come up. So I have images on all 4 panels, which is kind of cool. The first panel I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. One has gone through, the other 2 are going to be really late in the day. And then the next one, I've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm not terribly far away from the start there. Same with the second and third panels are both pretty similar. They won't come up to, it looks like panel 3 might be nicer. Or they've had stronger work come through their room. You never know. It just depends if you are a glass half empty kind of girl. And then 2 in the last room, 2 in the last 2 rooms, and boy, that one's going to be one of the last images of the day. So I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty down right now as far as competition goes. And tired. I'm feeling pretty tired. Okay, so I'm going to take a break and I'm going to join a panel this afternoon with some other creators that participated in this competition. And I'm gonna eat because I'm hungry. And I just need to, I'm kind of flooded right now with stuff that needs to happen with this image, but I definitely need to photograph a present and the oval frame. And then we can start piecing together the wallpaper this afternoon. But I'm definitely going to stream again today because I've got a lot to do. So come back and join me here and shoot me some ideas for titles for the kitty, the dancing kitty image, because I got nothing. My best was not good enough. So join me back here hopefully in a couple of hours and ready to go again and keep knocking away at it. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great one.
That's why I do my mommy. Please.